the ICA Show. It's Luke. I'm joined by co-host Alan. Alan, how are you?
I'm alright. How are you, Luke?
I'm doing all right. I think today we got a good guest, a good game. Mr. Brian Andre, welcome.
Hello, welcome everybody.
Yeah, how's it going?
I'm very good. How are you?
Good, good. So, you've been playing at the ICA tournaments a lot, you know, regular attender.
Yes.
Please tell everybody at home, when did you start playing chess? What was your journey like, etc.?
My chess career started in kindergarten at school, and then I developed a passion for it, and since then I've been taking lessons and playing in tournaments.
That's a great answer. And now you're, you know, and how old are you? I should ask also.
I'm 12 years old.
Yes. So pretty impressive rating climb from what I understand. Some good results at the tournaments. I remember about a year ago we played a game and I thought you played very well.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah. So okay. Alan, anything from you before we get started?
No, I think we can get right into it.
Yeah, let's do exactly that. So we'll pull up your game here. You're playing Bobby.
Yes.
No last name here.
I mean, his name was Robert Wilmot Jr., but when I asked him his name, he said Bobby. So
fair enough.
Down on my notation.
Yep. So okay, yeah, we'll get started right away. We get B3 already. Sort of an offbeat decision. Nimzo Larson. What was your thought process when you saw this move?
When I saw this move, I was shocked. I've never seen this opening before, but I decided to position my pieces in a Caro-Kann setup because I play the Caro-Kann. So I was thinking of D5, bishop f5, c6, knight d7, knight f6, that stuff.
So this wasn't something you'd looked at specifically. You just sort of
no.
Yeah. I think that's a fair way to treat a lot of these offbeat openings. Some people, they want to study 30 moves of theory and the Grob opening when I like your approach here, just playing simple and solid. So d5 is definitely one of the setups you can choose, going for, like you said, Caro-Kann light square type of strategy as opposed to e5. So knight f3, knight f6, okay, very normal. Bishop f5. D3, you're never really worried about this capture. Just curious, were you thinking of which way you were going to recapture? I'm always interested in this.
I mean, I was thinking of going a little bit more aggressive and going g takes f6.
I like it. Yeah.
And then
both are probably
an e5 or something.
Yeah, that seems very dynamic. Also sort of a, what do they call it? The Bronstein something in their Caro-Kann. There's a line like that.
Yeah.
Is it the Bronstein Larson? It actually might be.
Yeah, it might
but but in any case, d3, c6, like you said, Caro-Kann style. Knight b to d2, e6, e3, knight b to d7, and knight d4. I think this is the first moment where white is playing a little bit strangely out of the opening. Was this a quick move played by white, or did he think for a long time?
He didn't think for a long time, about 30 seconds maybe.
Okay. Yeah. So just, for the people at home, knight d4, the reason why it might raise an eyebrow is because, in the opening, you're not supposed to move the same piece twice if it's already developed, right? This knight was already pretty good on f3. It's not really going to be that much better on d4 unless you want to go for this bishop. And the more standard way of doing that is knight h4.
Yeah,
because that way, yeah,
because it's kind of forced because the g6 squared is also covered by the knight.
Yep. Now even here, you might be able to go bishop g4, and it looks a little bit.
I mean,
strange.
you could have
Oh, I'm sorry. Actually, that doesn't even work.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That still is fine for black. Yeah.
But I was surprised because at knight d4, I was thinking that after bishop g6, I would just kick it away and he just loses time.
Yeah, I'm thinking the same thing, right? You're sort of walking your knight into a vulnerable spot.
Square.
Yeah. So bishop e2. I think probably what should have been played in the last move. Sometimes you even see queen e2,
Yeah.
and double fianchetto type of thing. But okay, bishop e2, bishop d6, and a3. Another slightly slow move. Again, was this a sort of snap decision by white, or?
He played fairly quickly. I think he had like 30 seconds to a minute on this move.
Yeah, so a3. I actually have no idea really the idea here.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's some sort of setup maybe white is going for, maybe trying to set up some sort of hedgehog type of thing.
I'd give him the
where
benefit
you're
of the doubt
controlling-
here. I'd give him some benefit of the doubt. Say maybe he's going for something like b4 and maybe another pawn push at c4. But even so, that is iffy at best. Maybe
Yeah,
he's going for
that
queen side pawn,
a3 is
but, yeah.
definitely it's definitely a typical move in this type of structure. A lot of times after c4 is played and there's some, relief of the tension here, so either black taking white or white taking black. Sometimes you'll see b4 and like queen b3, and that's a very sort of harmonious setup. But a3 here, I always like to think of these strange looking opening moves. If you're considering a move like a3 from the white perspective, the way I like to think about it always is like, what are the odds that this is the best move, right? Like you run this position through the computer, like how willing would you be to bet that a3 is the best move?
Yeah.
And I mean, maybe it is, but
It's like a slow move. I was
yeah,
develop like castles.
like
Maybe.
it would be surprising if this was top move. Is the point?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So that's just maybe a practical way of thinking about these sort of decisions. But okay, rook c8. So maybe going like this.
Yeah, that's what my plan was.
Yep, I like the move. A lot of times this little construction here is can be blasted apart, and then the c pawn will often be weak.
Yeah.
But and now a third strange move in a row, bishop g4. Again, yeah.
Yeah, what I was gonna say is like, I mean, I didn't really think much on this move. I was just gonna go for the bishop pair, like just queen takes knight f3, knight f6.
Yep.
So maybe there was a better continuation with like h5 or something. I'm not sure.
h5 is interesting. Yeah, I like your decision too, though. Definitely, that's sort of an important bishop for white. A lot of these dark squares are looking slightly weak, and often this bishop can be
Yeah, that's what happened later on.
yeah, it can become very powerful on this diagonal.
Yeah.
So knight f6, queen's got to go back.
Here I was.
And yep.
Sorry. Just a comment. I didn't think he would go queen e1. I was thinking something like queen e2 or some other place, because like, why would he already go all the way back? Like
Yeah,
move this queen. Like
queen e2 looks very natural.
Yeah, queen e2 looks a lot natural because you also give yourself the option of castling queenside.
Yeah, and this is the type of sort of flexible position you want from the setup. But again, given the fact that black has the bishop pair, this is the type of position that I feel like only black can really push in, right? Like this plan looks very strong, and it's really going to prevent white from castling long. And like you're just not going to be able to keep up the threats against black if you're going to castle this way. So yeah, this bishop g4 I think is. I mean, even if you just castle, right? I don't really know what the idea is. Like this sacrifice is never really working. But okay, you take. I like it.
Yeah.
Yep.
First, I was thinking if that sacrifice would even work, but then I was like, no, I can't, because like there's nothing there.
Yep. Because sometimes you can go for this where you get like 3 pawns for a piece, but after queen e7, right? This is always defended. So it's like,
exactly.
yeah. But okay. Oh wait, in the game, what? Okay, you take knight f6. Wait, hold on. I don't know why it's going to sub variations here, but okay, queen g1 is played, and bishop b8. Typical move in this type of structure, right?
Yeah, I was thinking that if he castles, I could just go queen c7 or queen d6, threatening mate, and like in his position.
Yeah, and on top of that, given the fact that you have the center, right? A lot of times, if you can get this pawn to e4, right, you prevent a knight from landing on f3, which, yeah, like you said, makes this battery just really, really strong. Because if you have like, just for an example, right, like castles, e4, right, just to show the point, right? Something like this, threatening mate, right? This e4 pawn is always providing an attack. If you go g3, this is already probably game over. I think this is
Yeah, exactly.
very, very difficult.
Or
Yeah.
maybe even like bishop h5 with like maybe
Yeah,
bishop ideas
This-
and then bishop h3.
This seems really bad. So in the game though, knight e2, again, a little bit strange, right? Moving the knight back. I'm not really sure what the plan is. But okay, castles, which seems very logical. Knight g3. Again, where is that knight going? Right?
Yeah.
It seems like the knight is doing a lot of moving, but not a lot of improving.
Yeah.
c5. Continuing with the plan. As black, you seem to have a very nice plan, very logical, whereas white seems to be, really stuck, right? Like these knights are not going anywhere. This knight is stuck too. So this is the type of problem you can run into when you make a bunch of moves with the same piece. It doesn't always mean it's going to keep getting better, right? There's a sort of diminishing returns sort of concept there. So the other knight comes in. Okay, that knight's doing a little bit more, right? We're covering some squares, and c4, just very logical. That was your whole plan. Take, and here's a theme we keep coming back to in all these, ICA shows, is that just because you trade queens doesn't mean you lose your lead in development, right? Here, white just spent. Let's remember this knight started on g1, right? I don't think I'm mistaken there. It went it went knight f3, knight d4, knight e2, knight g3.
Yeah.
This knight went, let's do a different color, right? Knight. Okay, so you're spending a bunch of moves with the same piece.
1, 2, 3, 4 for the first knight and 2 for the second knight.
Yep, and none of them are really even that good. Whereas as black, you're making all these improving moves, activating the rook, making some really nice pawn pushes. So all of that is building up and giving black this lead in development. And just because you trade the queens doesn't mean that goes away. Right? A lead in development isn't just in terms of attacking your opponent's king.
Yeah.
It's also, as we're seeing here, leading into the endgame as well.
Yeah.
And this already, I think, is very difficult for white to play.
Yeah, I felt very good because I had the initiative.
Absolutely. Yeah, already a threat here. c3 is always going to be a little bit scary.
Yeah, the next move, I think he hung on c2.
Yep. So, knight e5 is played. You could take here. Also, though, I think c3
Yeah,
is...
c3, yeah. Yeah, I didn't see it in the game, but that was just completely crushing because you just win a piece.
Yeah, if you take here, we take this.
Yeah, I was just thinking of the pawn a little bit, like, more, because that's the first thing. Yeah.
But even, I think your decision is good, too.
Yeah, even that, I...
Just take everything, and this is, really, really bad. You go b4, which I guess makes some sense. Maybe you don't want to take and allow this rook in, but it's a little bit, maybe double-edged as being generous, because now this is a passed pawn that has sort of a clear path down, which is a little bit troubling, I think, if I'm playing white here. Bishop b3, so maybe this, right? If the pawn lands on c2, that's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
Castles. a6, okay, and we're setting up like this, I guess, right?
I mean, I was just playing that. I didn't want to play a6 b5 immediately, because I was thinking that if like my bishop is attacked with like knight c1 at some point, if I play b5, when I play bishop a4, my bishop will be trapped there.
Okay, that's a very deep idea. So like, yeah.
So that's why I was like playing a6 just to make sure I'll have b5 if I need it. So yeah, that was my idea.
Okay, yeah. Very nice concept. I think here, even I wouldn't even really be too concerned here, because like, let's say knight e2, like, okay, rook d2, knight c1. Again, this is the type of thing where I really struggle to believe that this can be okay.
Yeah.
Right? Like, what if I just go here and like start, or even not, right? Like, I don't know. It feels like there should be something really strong here.
And I think bishop c2 or bishop a4 is just really strong.
Yeah, like this is the type of situation where the bishop might look bad on a4, but I could see this actually being very strong. Like, just the fact that it prevents ever a trade of rooks, right? Means that white controls the only open file, and Black is going to have zero. I'm sorry, White is going to have zero activity with those rooks. But okay, maybe we're nitpicking too much. A6, I think is a it's a nice idea. Rook C1, nice move. Taking one step back with the knight to take 2 steps forward. F6, beautiful. Building a pawn chain. Bishops are always really bad against a pawn chain like this. The phrase that always stuck with me is that the bishop is, biting on granite, they say, which is kind of, not too nice of an image. But okay, knight F5. Just don't hang a fork. Avoid it. This is always an annoying knight. Knights on F5 are very strong for some reason. King F7 looks natural, but then you jump into another fork.
Yeah.
So this looks nice.
Yeah.
Rook B8, Rook E1. And again, we're seeing the problem that these rooks are facing, right? There's one open file on the board, and this bishop is covering the only entry square. So this is a very typical sort of problem that White is facing, where they just can't activate. Whereas as Black, you really just need one move. Knight comes to E6, Rook is open. This is a really nice position already. Knight B6, though, going the other way. That A4 square is looking really nice. We said before that White might regret giving up that light square bishop, and I think this is a really, good example of why that might be. A lot of weak light squares in the position here. B5, okay, I mean, I guess trying to do this. I think you can even... Okay, that's actually kind of...
Yeah, because if you do that, I mean, I looked over it with the computer afterwards, and then I saw that,
hang a piece.
yeah, this was a good move.
Yeah.
This was a good variation for Black. But, like, I was just thinking not to complicate things because, like, I'm completely winning, so, like, I don't want to go into some calculations that should not be that necessary.
Yeah. I mean, maybe you can go to, like... Wait. I mean, you could probably even give up the exchange, right?
I think knight A4 was the recommended move.
Yeah, so, something like this. And again, the fact that these rooks can't move, right? Whenever you're evaluating an exchange sacrifice, it's always important to look at the quality of your opponent's rooks. That actually looks like a very promising exchange sacrifice, but whoops. So knight A4, which also very good. This is, sort of nothing. There's no threat. Bishop B4. Okay, rook D7, guarding some checks. Rooks come in, takes, and you just take. Did you calculate taking here first?
I mean, I was thinking about that, but I wanted both of my rooks because I realized they could be very powerful against one rook when like he would have his rooks not able to go on D1.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so you take, and king F7.
Yeah, I decided to bring my king in.
Yep. So here again,
also have an opportunity, but for the same reason, I decided not to.
Yeah,
because
I think
maybe rook C7 or something.
Yeah.
Like rook C3, I mean C6, or the other rook to C1, and then like H3. I don't know.
I could see that. Yeah. Here though, I just feel like this just must be good for Black.
Yeah.
But I like your decision too, which is just keeping the bishop. I mean,
yeah, my bishop's really powerful.
Yep. So rook C2. Typical idea here is trying to do the same thing that you did to White.
That's what I was expecting in F3.
Yeah, and you get the king in. And this, I think, should be equal, right? Maybe Black can try to do something. Their knight's a little more active. Again, some weak light squares. Maybe an idea like this is sort of interesting, even if you're not winning an exchange via fork like that. Yeah, the knight would be very strong, but okay. He goes rook C2, bishop E7, so some pressure along the D file. Knight C4, king comes up. King activity is always, people always underestimate that as a factor, but king is much more active than White's here. And let's not forget, the king is an important endgame piece, right? So knight A5, bishop comes in, which is maybe a reason why you would have rather have had F3 on the board, but okay, rook C1. And knight B2, a very nice move. Again, with this idea in mind, weak light squares, that is going to be a problem. Rook C3, and you go for the trade of rooks. A lot of people, when they're, learning about back rank checkmates, I remember when I was, at least, I always thought about this tactic, like I would set up some long tactic to finish it off with rook D1 and be like, oh, it's mate, right? But just don't forget they don't have to take you, right? It's not
Yeah.
necessarily checkmate. Rook
I
goes
played
back.
that because I was thinking that now in this position, after rook takes c1, rook takes c1, I mean,
Mhm.
I would just trade my knight for his bishop.
Yep. But rook
I-
d1 is a little bit annoying.
Yeah,
Right.
I played rook c8.
Yep. Still more active, liking the position
Yeah,
for black here. F3 finally. And okay, I like this decision as well. You could try to save the bishop, but this is the type of position where you might get blocked out like this, right?
exactly.
And now this bishop is going to have to reroute. It just goes to show again how a pawn chain can really cut a bishop out of the game entirely. So you take, and he decides to take on e4, which okay,
It was
it's
kind
a
of dubious. I don't know.
yeah. I mean,
I was thinking just takes and then because by taking my bishop, he ruins his structure.
yeah. Here, um,
I don't know. Maybe.
I mean, this looks okay for white too, right? I
Yeah.
mean, it looks better. Like again, you got to go somewhere. Let's say you go here. Okay, like let's say here, right? I don't see how this is can be so bad.
Yeah, it's definitely not that
Yep.
bad. But
So
with
yep.
pawn takes, he gave me
Oh yeah, in the game.
that I could exploit.
Yeah. So still equal material, but far superior structure for black. Better activity. You go knight c6. Again, I'll have to point out I did look at this variation with the computer, but a very nice idea is knight a2, with again this sort of pattern we're seeing in this game of the knight jumping all the way in to come to a slightly less advanced square. If the knight comes to c3, apparently this is really good, and it seems like it's going to really do some damage against this broken structure. But in the game knight c6, very natural. Rook c1, same concept as before, pinning. King d7, and
I was not scared of any trades because I knew
always
that my
winning.
king was a lot more active than
Yep.
his king. So
Yep. Pawn structure is always just below the level of importance of material when it comes to king and pawn endgames. Just to show it, I guess, right? If we go into this endgame, again, the two factors we've been talking about this whole time: king activity and structure. Black is going to go like this and this and this and this, and white is way too slow. They're not even going to get off the starting line, and this is going to be game over. So, okay, whoops. So, okay, king d7, you can't trade. Knight c4 is played again. This is a tricky knight. You got to give him credit, right?
Yeah.
That knight made a lot of strange moves in the beginning, but it's
I
making
was
some threats
annoyed
now.
by his knight.
Yeah, rook b8, and okay, now he starts to bring the king. Knight here is actually, I think, very well placed, stopping any entry.
Yeah, and also stopping like a knight a5 or something.
Yep. So rook b3, nice move, keeping this knight stuck, tied to the defense of this pawn. King g3, which
sorry.
a little bit strange.
Yeah, it was strange. I was thinking of like king f3 or king e2 because like first of all his king has nothing to do in the king side because he's not going to take any of my pawns. And in addition, king g3 also weakens the e pawn because now it's only protected by the knight.
Yeah.
I mean, the
this one too.
Pawn. Yeah, both.
Yeah, king f3, I mean, maybe there's like an annoying check. And you have to go back. Right? I mean, maybe you can go king g4 and but this knight is
I mean, this knight's hanging right now, but
yeah.
So like after
like this, for example, I mean.
Yeah. And then like rook a1, it's terrible position.
Yeah, a4 like this, you're already picking up stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, so king g3. Okay, a little bit, and this move, knight a7, I think is very nice too. Rerouting, right? h4, knight jumps in, a4, and here, was there a problem? Is this not winning a pawn?
Yeah.
Maybe, I mean, maybe there's something here. Because you're threatening not just the pawns, but this too.
I was thinking knight e3 was also good because like if he like takes what happened, I take with the rook, and I also win a pawn.
Yep, that looks nice too. Yeah. So check. Okay, and I guess your line works just as well. Yeah, you definitely win a pawn here. King f3, we pick up that one, and yeah, given the outside passer and the damage structure, this looks game over.
I realized that I shouldn't have tuck in immediately, I should have gone a move like h5 to block the king because the pawn
Ah.
wouldn't go anywhere.
Okay, that's actually kind of a nice idea. Yeah, so like h5 here. Yeah, and yeah, exactly like you said. That's
Yeah.
that's actually pretty nice. Yeah, but okay, taking is seems fine too, right? This is definitely winning. A lot of times you can defend a position like this as white. For example, if you put this pawn on f3, this is probably a draw. A lot of times this pawn can be stopped if you put your rook behind the passed pawn. It's very difficult to queen this pawn before white drums up any counterplay on the king side. But given the fact that you have these two immobile pawns, there's really nothing you can do but sit and wait as white. There's no way to break through on the king side, and
Yeah.
yeah, this is just a very sad endgame to try to hold. So he tries to activate the rook. You don't let him. I like this little sequence here, right? He's trying to come here. You say no. Trying to go there. You say no. Maybe you should have gone to b1 first, right? This
Yeah,
is
that's what I was not that happy
it's
about if you would have done that.
yeah, probably still it's
I was
winning
thinking
though.
about maybe like king f7 maybe after that.
Yeah, this looks like it should be good. Yeah. So okay, in the game though, he lets you sort of walk on over with him. Check. Okay, the king just runs over. It would have been funny to get a repetition like this, back
Yeah.
and forth, but no. This is a much better move. Guarding the 7th rank. Check. Blocked. Okay, of course, a trade of rooks would be a winning endgame for reasons we just saw, and now, okay, the pawn is just going to run. There's really nothing going on over here. You can just ignore that completely. You take, which is also good, but the pawn is running. Okay, he tries to sack a pawn, and you say, again, no. You could take, I guess, but
Yeah.
h6 is looks very solid too.
So his king doesn't like maybe come and do something bad, I guess.
Okay, I could definitely see some tricks, but okay. The rook tries to come in. As long as this pawn is always defended, there's nothing to worry about. Right? Rook can always swing here to
Yeah.
just run the pawn down, and yeah, this is just game over. Queen, and here would be a fine place to resign. Maybe he's trying to hope, you're going to stalemate him, but no. And
Yeah.
here is the last move in the annotation, or
Yeah.
in the PGN, and I
Yeah,
guess
this
he
is
resigned
great.
here.
Yes, he did.
Which, okay, to be fair, style points for under promotion. But unfortunately, that does not reflect itself in the tournament standings. So very nice game overall by yourself, Brian. Any final thoughts on this game? Any takeaways?
I was gonna add here that we've both finished with pretty low time.
Mm-hmm.
Like as you can see, this game was like 60, 65 moves.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I finished with about 1 minute and he finished with 5 minutes. And I completed my notation sheet afterward.
Yeah.
So it was a tough game. It was very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean it's chess, it's always fun.
Yeah. Okay. That's a nice way to think of it. Yeah. Very very, very solid performance. It seemed like the win was always in your hands. So well done. And we'll hand it over to you, Alan.
All right, great game. Unfortunately, there's not much I can say as I was having Wi-Fi difficulties throughout the entire game, so I apologize for that. But let's get into the next section. So, tonight, is the last night of registration for the Dr. Osfield Memorial Championships. I will be playing in the under 1600 section. Brian will also be playing in the under 1600 section. So we thought, what a way to hype this tournament up, set it up, we might play each other with a grand old blitz match. So I say, let's get right into it. I will challenge you right now, 5 minutes each.
On chess.com, correct?
Chess.com.
Okay.
And
Okay,
Luke,
I see
you
the
can DJ.
What do you want? Background music? Let's see. Let's put some. This one on StreamYard. The title is "Feeding the Ducks." Wow. Okay, I guess I could see some ducks being fed. A noble
See how good
animal.
my Karo
Yep.
game is. I love playing the Karo as black.
Okay, wait, who is who?
I'm white,
am-
Brian is
Okay.
black.
Okay. So 2 Karo Khan players. Bishop d3, which, Alan, I'm sorry to say, I don't think is the best move.
I appreciate it.
Bishops. I'm sure Andre knows this, right?
Yes.
Good bishop for, the opposite side is going to favor black here based on the pawn structure.
Hmm.
Okay,
Honestly,
97.
The result of this match, win, lose, this is just great prep for me.
Yes.
Wow. Okay.
I'm good. I know we can take him in the game 60.
Knight f5. Another typical plan there that I really like is like c5 and you put the other knight on c6. It's like a weird little thing, but I like knight f5 too. Alan is unafraid of that bishop being traded off. I think I agree.
I won't go for that. And then it's powerful.
Now, always a question here is whether or not white is going to play g4. That is often a move. Right now, probably not so much because black is not committed to castling, but sometimes you even do see it before black is castled. But
We'll
I think
see what happens.
some more development is, on the cards here. Okay, c4.
Interesting idea.
Definitely very direct, but maybe too direct. I always like the plan of b3 and c4 because here I like the decision by Andre taking that pawn on d4 is going to be a weakness.
Yeah, that's what
Yep.
my idea was.
Can't be pushed. That's a backward pawn technically. Okay, like b3.
Yeah, that's a nice move.
Okay, and maybe some counterplay, knight d2, knight d4 type of thing. Should say knight fd2.
I'll just regularly cast one.
Another strange plan here you see a lot from the white side is like g3, king g2, h4, this type of thing, which is my favorite plan because you can kind of do it when you don't know what you're doing. And that's a common situation I find myself in my games. Just pro tip, if you don't know what to do, and it's a closed-ish position, g3, king g2, h4, like here, I think that's even, I wouldn't be surprised if that's like the move. The rook d1 I also like. Now, is Mr. Brian going to break in the center at some point? It's a matter of time.
It is.
This is the song we always do for the blitz portion. Let's see if we maybe mix it up a little bit. We have all sorts of StreamYard, I suppose,
Beats.
copyright, tracks. Well, let's see. This one's Into Space. I could see why they call it that.
You know, another thought that I had in my head, Luke, is maybe we have a musician within the ranks of ICA. If that's the case, if somebody knows how to,
I could play piano or clarinet.
I mean,
Wow.
piano clarinet is good, but do you know how to connect it to a device? Like the big thing that people use for fun is something called GarageBand.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I heard that. I never used it.
So if somebody were to be able to make some music on the GarageBand, then we can definitely use the tracks on shows, not just on shows, but also for social media promos. It'll be great for somebody to be able to make this type of capability so we can have much more interesting tracks.
hmm
we can
All
have
of a
like
sudden, oh, I think queen h5. Okay, maybe queen h5. There's even g6, which is a little bit annoying. Okay.
all right.
I feel like there's a very annoying move here for white. The move was queen a5. I thought might have been a little bit annoying.
Oh.
And like just trying to go take a pawn cheekily
Oh.
that way.
Yeah, it's a good idea, but I feel like the fight's not there.
The what?
The fight.
Oh, the fight.
it's not-
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I say it looked weird, but I feel like that's actually a very annoying move to see. I mean, maybe you even just go like, I mean, I have a feeling, yeah, that pawn is probably sacrificable.
To back onto the topic of GarageBand, I know that there is a piano in GarageBand, so if you can play some keys on it, on the GarageBand, would be cool.
Yeah.
I played the clarinet for like 1 month, and I had
1
to
month.
play hot cross buns by myself on a stage.
Ah, yes.
That was not good. It
I
was a
also
whole
started.
auditorium, and I was didn't know how to play it. That was,
I also started recently because I just
Okay.
started school and I had to play an instrument.
Ah,
So, yeah.
piano didn't count.
No, they didn't have piano.
Ah.
So I mean, it's a nice instrument. I really like playing it.
Mhm.
I also have to play.
Alan,
hot-
I need to see some pawn moves.
It's
Why?
also a nice instrument.
There's a pawn sequence here that I think.
All right, now there's a pawn sequence. Now that the knight's off of f3,
What do we always say about the pawn chains, Alan?
I'll give it to you. I'll give you what you
Where
want. Luke.
is the pawn chain pointing?
Look, I'll give you what you want, what you really,
Okay.
really want.
Yes. Okay, c5, timely break. That's an annoying move. Now that all of a sudden the center is collapsing. Queen b6.
That's a fair move. And I am fairly running out of time.
I'm also running out of time.
Looks like it's going to be a race to the end.
Oh, I feel like there's a tactic here for black. Oh, okay.
There
At
was.
times, I think so. But now this attack is looking a little bit troubling. I'm a little bit nervous. Okay, takes.
There's no discovered, is there?
Is
don't
there
think so.
increment at this?
Is there increment? That's a good question.
There is no
Uh,
increments. It's
No.
just straight down.
Oh, this is bullet. This is bullet now.
Oh,
Yeah.
wait.
This is
Oh
bullet.
no, this
Knight
is not good.
h6, I feel like was that not working? Maybe not. Okay. Oh, oh, wait.
Can I do it? Can I do it? I don't have time for anything. Honestly.
I completely missed that.
Okay, and now actually I think the endgame is favoring black, if anybody.
Really?
Right, isolated pawn on e5. Weak king, let's not forget. King activity. That king is in the corner. What is he hiding from? Okay. King h7, very nice. Some good endgame players at ICA, I noticed. Which is, they tell you, when you play kids to take them to the endgame. I'm not so sure about these ICA students. Knight d6 is a good looking move, but f5 is also. And
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Point, that is a flag. Wow. On time, and if I do say so, on the board.
Yeah.
Brian Andre.
Good game. Good game.
Good game.
That was
Wins as
fun.
black. Very nice. Okay.
That was extremely fun.
Yeah, very clean game. The plan F4, F5, I feel like had to be a little bit earlier.
I mean, I wanted to do it for a while, but
yeah.
like it was difficult, especially with Brian's knight on F5.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I felt like stuff needed to get done first, a little bit of maneuvering. But then once the plan came, just wish I had a minute more to see something, because I felt like I did have a tactic.
You said, Luke, that I had a tactic somewhere.
Oh yeah, back here. What, like 2-3 moves back? Instead of rook c7, I think. Knight c3. And then knight e4.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're right. Yeah.
The one other thing I wanted to check.
Yeah.
Can you look at queen a5? That was like somewhere in the middle.
No, I think it was early.
It was before this. I'm just curious.
Yeah, here I think maybe.
When your knight is on c4, yeah, here I think. Yeah, right here, queen a5. I wanted to just go grab a pawn.
I think knight takes is good.
Oh really? Oh, I guess so. And the d4 pawn is still gonna be weak.
Knight takes, queen takes c7, rook takes c7, pawn takes, and then rook d7.
And then rook's double. Yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
In the final position.
In my head,
I want to look at.
Wait, was there a position where the rook wasn't on c8, or was I just blind and I didn't realize the knight wasn't pinned?
Well, what could I have done here? I had something here. What did I have?
Knight h6, right? Is that not working? I guess not. Oh. Knight d6. Okay.
So I set up the queen, and then
it
says queen g3, setting up mate.
Yeah. Wow. Okay,
then
get it.
Queen g6.
Yes.
And knight e7.
Oh.
Yeah.
He must take.
That's a nice one.
And then I take him back.
Yeah.
And there it is.
That's deep.
Okay, wow, nice game. Tactics.
Nice game.
Under the surface.
Good game.
All right. So, no show next week due to the Osfield Memorial Tournament, which everyone better sign up for. I hope to see everyone there. No show the week after due to everyone playing in Team East, except perhaps myself. Luke will be playing in Team East.
No.
So
no,
everyone will be playing except for me and Luke, that we can get a break. After that, though, there will be some rebranding. Stay on the lookout for that. I'm excited to share with you all the changes we'll make in 3 weeks. The changes will be significant. I hope to see you then.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.